Hi dads, welcome back. Sorry it took a couple of extra days to get a new video uploaded. I usually try and get one up every 7 days. However, past week we've had quite a bit of an excitement around the house here. My 1 month old son wound up in the hospital for 3 days with a fever that was up over 102. And my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, wound up getting diagnosed with croup this week. So par for the course. This is stuff that every father is going to face, being a stay-at-home dad, and moms as well. I mean, this is part of being the parent and having kids. Is you're going to face these kinds of illnesses and setbacks. But in any event, we're back with a new show, and this week I wanted to revisit some more ways to help the stay-at-home dads take over the budget and save some money on the family. Since we're going to be doing everything out of the house, the idea is to stretch the family dollar as much as possible. Now, in a previous episode, I focused on a lot of ways that you could save money you can make money by working from home. But let's look at what we can do to change how we're already handling things. Now, the typical household has several bills that are just static. Everybody has these bills. Um, Now, some of them we can work with and some of them we can't. Some of the ones that are a little bit more difficult to work with are usually your utilities like electric, gas, trash, and water. Trash and water are usually run by the city, so I mean you can't really haggle a better price on that. Electric, you can deal with a different electric company these days. There've been a lot of competition coming up, but ultimately you're going to end up saving maybe 10% off your electric bill, which is, I mean, while 10% is nice, it's really not that great of a deal to go out and risk the service that you currently have. So we're gonna steer clear of these services, and we're gonna look at a couple of other ones that everybody has, but nobody really realizes that they can negotiate and get better prices on. So what we're going to focus on today is, well, we'll start with television. Television is something that every household seems to have these days, but you might be surprised. More and more houses are turning off their televisions. They're not having televisions in the home. The reason being is because the internet. The internet is free television. You can get online and pretty much see all the shows that you would normally see on TV. You can see them right on your internet. So why pay the second bill? Well, it's a good thought to try and save some money if you can work it. I mean, if you don't mind dealing with watching TV on your computer, or you can go get a cable that will connect your computer to the TV. It's not quite as user friendly as picking up a remote control and changing a channel. However, whenever you consider the cost of cable bills these days, I mean, it's a good way to save some money. Now, in my household, we are not quite ready to completely sever the cable line, and because of this, we have worked out some ways that we can save some money on it. The first thing that you should know is about once a year, you will, as a matter of fact, go ahead and mark today's date on your calendar. Every year at this date, go through and revisit all of the services that we're going to talk about today. We're going to start with cable. Every year from now, go back and revisit. You make a phone call to a cable company. The reason being is because you never know what new package deals have come down and how you can save money. And a lot of people sign up for these services and then they never touch them again. And the cable company counts on that because what they do is they slowly raise your rates, and they do it while you're not looking. So, and the good news is, with the internet out there, the cable companies are getting more and more desperate for, if they think that they're going to lose business, they are becoming more and more apt to help you out with other services. To give you an example, about probably 11 months or so ago, my wife and I wanted to sit down, and we were gonna have date night, and we were gonna get a pay-per-view movie come in and have it ordered on the television. Well, for some reason, we were having some problems getting the movie to come through, and it just wasn't happening, and it was kind of upsetting. So I got on the phone with the cable company, and got a lovely lady on who I was talking to, and it turned out we were having some kind of problem with our service where the signal wasn't coming through well enough, and I was just like, it was really disappointing because this was date night. We were really looking forward to this. Well, the nice lady on the phone turned around and gave me a free year of Stars on Stars premium channel, just out of the blue. Said, you know what? We're sorry you had this problem. We're sorry that we hurt date night. Here's a free month of Stars. So what does this prove to you? It proves that, if you open your mouth, you're gonna get some things that sometimes people will help you out. Um, Another good thing to keep an eye on is watch the commercials on television. Find out what they're offering new sign up people. If you haven't if you haven't altered your service in a long time and you call up your cable company, and I mean I've seen things like they're giving away free iPhones at one point in time and iPods for new signups, or free HBO for a year or something like that. If you call them up and say, look, I've been a loyal customer of yours for this long and you're giving this stuff to new people, what's in it for me? A lot of times you can talk them into giving you these premium services for free just with a simple phone call. Another thing is look at the channels that you're using. Why pay for channels that you're not using? If you don't watch certain channels, you can go through and itemize your bill and bring it down to a lower rate and get it to what you want it to. Now, on the exact flip side of that, the other thing that you can think about doing is bundling. A lot of the services are offering bundle services now. What that means is they will pick up your internet, your telephone, and your television all in one service and charge you one bill. Now, this can be good, and it can be a little bit, it can be tricky. Here's the thing. With the bundle services, what I found is we don't use my house phone very often. I'm currently on a bundle service, so I thought about going ahead and calling up and canceling my house phone. I mean, what's the point of having it, right? Well, the only thing I'm going to use it for is a 911 number because we use our cell phones for the most part. Well, it turns out of my package that I have all three of them that I'm paying for, I think the total bill that I pay is somewhere in the neighborhood of $120 a month for all three services. It turns out only $10 of it is allotted for my actual house phone, and that covers all my long distance and everything else. We're with Comcast, and we have their triple play, and it turns out it's actually $10 a month was not worth canceling the phone, because if I needed an emergency for a 911 call, I have the phone. So take a look, see what suits you best, but make the phone call to your cable company every year to find out how you can save some money and what services you can pick up and what services you can get rid of. Now, not to since we're already on the subject of phone, the other thing that you want to look at with is your telephone usage. A lot of people are still paying for separate local and long distance services. Guys, this is the age of the internet. Everything is done, all the phone calls are being made online right now. So find out who you're with. If you're with a company that's still charging you local and long distance, you're way behind the times. It's time to come on board with a company who is doing more internet phone calls, which are a lot cheaper. MCI and just about all your major companies are online, and if you haven't made phone calls in a long time, odds are you're paying a lot of money out of pocket that you really don't have to be paying. So make these phone calls, find out where you can save money, because it is a lot of money that you can save. When I first moved in with my wife, within the first year I had cut her bills in half just by making a couple of phone calls. Now, the other thing that people aren't really taking advantage of these days is cell phones and the cell phone plans. Now, as a stay-at-home father, let me slip this in here real quick. Go ahead and get yourself a very good smartphone. Pick up either a BlackBerry, or I use an Ally, which is an Android. Get yourself an iPhone, whatever your personal preference is. You're going to want to get yourself hooked up with one of these smartphones. The reason being, is the world today isn't like the world whenever we grew up. If we're going to be a stay-at-home dad and we're going to support our wives, it's becoming more and more you have to maintain control of everything. You're going to need a calendar with you at all times. You're going to need a phone with you at all times that you can rely on. You're going to have to integrate your wife's schedule. You're going to have to integrate your kids' schedule. All these things are going to need to be put into your calendar so that you know where everybody goes, where they need to be, when you need to be where. This day and age, you cannot survive as a stay-at-home dad or as a primary caregiving dad without a smartphone. The other niceties that go along with this is that if you get a phone that runs a lot of apps, you can get all kinds of free assistance that you would not believe. I would be lost without my phone. I mean, my phone runs apps that there's a baby soothing app out there that I use that basically it creates a sound like a vacuum cleaner being run, that I can put my phone in the cradle with my 1 month old toddler, with my 1 month old baby, and it will lull him to sleep. He absolutely loves to hear this silly little white noise that just goes shh for, well, last time I checked it, I had it running for 2 hours while he napped, and if I turn it off, he wakes up. It's like a remote control on my baby. The other nice thing is you can get YouTube. There's a YouTube app that you can put on these things. And my 2-year-old toddler, if I'm ever out doing something with my 2-year-old toddler and I need 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of pure silence from her so that I can take care of any situation that needs to be dealt with, I bring up my YouTube app and I can play episodes of Caillou. Caillou is a cartoon that she absolutely loves. I just bring it up on YouTube, sit there, hit play, and she sits still just holding the screen and watching Caillou for 10 minutes. I mean, these kids are, my daughter's 2 and she already knows how to use my phone. So the kids are getting a lot smarter a lot earlier, and this is a great distraction that you can use in an emergency situation to keep the kids occupied. Not only that, I run Pandora. Pandora is great for playing music in the car. I've set up radio stations for whenever my daughter's in the car, and then I can change the channel to my other radio station that I've set up for when I want to hear the music that I want to hear. And I've got a third radio station set up for my wife. Truth be told, I've got about 10 radio stations set up on a variety of different things, from the music I like to whatever I happen to need at the time. So Pandora is another great app that you can run out, that you can run on, that will help you keep things running smoothly for you. A GPS on a smartphone is amazing whenever you're trying to get places that you don't know where you're going. It's a different world, guys. We've got to go high tech if we're going to do this job. I mean, let's face it. Moms are great at the touchy feely stuff. We're dads. We got to go power and we got to go tech, right? So let's do it right. Get yourself a good smartphone, something that you can keep track of everything that you need to do. Now, when you do this with the cell phone companies, we want to go back to talking about saving money here. A lot of people don't realize that every 2 years, your contract expires with your cell phone company. So if it's been over 2 years and you have not signed a new contract with your cell phone, you're operating without a contract on an old plan. Now is the time to put this to use and put it to benefit for you. Here's the deal. A lot of the phone companies, the cell phone companies, are very competitive now too. The market's gotten tough, especially as the economy goes down, it gets a lot tougher on everybody out there, so they're willing to compete more. Compare plans, you're going to find out that a lot of plans are fairly similar in prices. You're going to end up paying about the same amount no matter what. Now, I know a lot of people I know some people that think about going for these prepaid plans. You know what? You don't even, the price is comparable. By the time you pay for a prepaid plan, you might as well go ahead and get on a contract. The only difference is with a contract, you're in for 2 years, or else you're going to pay a penalty. But trust me, stay on top of it. You're going to need the services anyway. So look at your plans, compare your plans. Most of it comes down to then the quality of service that you get, as well as the connectivity that you get. Currently, my wife and I are with Verizon. We were with Singular until it turned into, for the longest time. Then we went to AT&T. So we've made the rounds. We've done a lot of the plans, and what I can tell you is the prices are pretty much the same. So what you want to look at is the benefits that you're going to get. Now, you want to know why we went with Verizon? Well, one of the main reasons was whenever we were with AT&T and it came time to renew the contract, AT&T basically said, you know what? We're not going to do anything new for you because I'm on an old plan. I was getting better rates than they're giving out right now. So they decided that, you know what, they weren't even going to give me new phones. And every 2 years, you're supposed to get a new phone. So I decided it was time to say goodbye to AT&T. And we went with Verizon. And one of the things that Verizon gave me was, not only did they give me a new phone, they gave me a new smartphone. This thing was free. It's the LG Ally. They gave it to me. It's an Android cell phone, and they literally handed it to me as a new client and said, "Welcome aboard Verizon." And I mean to tell you, right now, I would be totally lost without my cell phone. I used to have an old iPod that I was working on, the iPod Touch, which, you know, basically an iPhone, except for you can't make phone calls and can't take pictures. But listen, you can't be a stay-at-home dad in the modern world without being able to get connected and without having all these beautiful little apps and accessories that are going to so help you do the job. We're already